Is brought to you by
Get 25% off a 7 or 28-day Prime Router bundle in the My Digicel app today. Enter to pick and win with Digicel this Christmas.
Nothing moves your vibe, your mood, or your appetite like the taste of grace.
Pepsi.
Fool! You just get what? What you hungry, man? They're the king of this. Like how up are the king of burgers.
Taste rules your way at Burger King. The best tasting burgers under the...
Good afternoon and welcome to our post-show of Final Whistle. Now, for all things relating to our coverage, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Spencer Darlington, and with me, as we had them this morning, we've got Miguel Coley, former assistant manager for the Reggae Boys, former head coach of the Jamaica College, Imperious Jamaica College team. Miguel is all the way in Qatar. They're 8 hours ahead of Jamaica. And we have Liam Henriquez, our young analyst from 2018. You remember him so well. Liam has grown, and he has grown in everything. And we just lost him, but we'll get him back for sure. Who is here with us for sure now is Sharona Forrester, former Reggae girl, former assistant team manager for the national team. And Andrew Price is here. He wears so many hats. Technical director of Calabar, Boys Town Stalwart, Humberland technical director, former assistant coach for the Reggae girls in 2019 when they qualified historically for the World Cup in France. Now, we're also joined on Zoom, as I said, by Miguel Coley. He coaches at Sal in Qatar, and Liam will rejoin us shortly. Now, the first game of 64 is out of the way, and it resulted in the first time the host nation has lost their opening game at the World Cup because Qatar went down 2-0 to Ecuador. Ener Valencia, the captain, scoring twice. Could have been a hat-trick, but his first goal, VAR intervened and said it was an offside decision. We'll look at all of that, discuss that in particular. But in terms of the outcome, 67,372 fans were in the stadium, the Al Bayt Stadium in Al Khor. And the reports I saw said many of the home fans left before the game ended. They got frustrated with how their team was playing, and we look at that as well. Now, the coach of Qatar, Felix Sanchez, he said, I found this very interesting. He said maybe the responsibility and nerves got the better of them. And, wow, he says they will now look to the next game, as a lot of coaches like to say, we'll go back to the drawing board. But let me start with you, Andrew. 2-0 in favor of Ecuador. And it appeared as if the Qataris wanted to go toe-to-toe with the Ecuadorians. But that first goal probably... it was not allowed, but it probably, as Sharona was saying, knocked the sting out of the home team. But after that, Andrew, the Ecuadorians took over the first half, and in the second half, we saw a gap in terms of the talent, the level of the talent.
Definitely. For the first 10 minutes, you saw a little bit of jitters. First game of the World Cup, both teams trying to get the ascendancy, and the team that settled first. I remember earlier today I said to you, the team that scores first today would win the game, and I think that was given to Ecuador when they got their first goal. And the writing was always on the wall with that goal that was disallowed by VAR, by Valencia, which was scored very early, probably in the 3rd minute. But they kept on pounding and kept on going, and eventually they got a penalty and they took the lead. And from there, it was smooth sailings for Ecuador. I don't think they were troubled much by the Qatar team. I think Qatar played a little bit better in the second half, but on a whole, I believe that Ecuador really controlled the flow of the game.
Yeah, and as we said, we'll be discussing the disallowed goal quite a bit. We have an expert lined up for you, so just stay tuned for that. But Sharona, I found what the Qatari coach said very interesting. He said, as I said, the responsibility and nerves got the better of them.
I believe if you're preparing for 20 or 12 years that you would have expected. So you're coming in with this mental dexterity that this is the pressure I'm under. I'm the host. I know I'm the host. I know there's a lot of pressure, but I must deliver. No, I just believe that 3rd minute goal, because as Andrew said earlier, we're playing 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So in that 3rd minute, you disrupt everything. So they couldn't complete 3 passes together. It went to shambles, So that first half of them was just horrible.
Yeah, and we've seen this so often in football where a team comes in with a good plan of action, but an early goal, even though it was disallowed, as Sharona said, could still knock some of the stuffing out of the Qataris. Let's hear from Miguel in Qatar. Miguel, I saw where there were 67,372 fans in the venue, and many of the home fans, the report said, started to leave before the game ended.
Well, first, they would have been disappointed. I would hope for them to stay until the end because this is their World Cup, this is their show, and they have to support the team until the end. I was disappointed in the team. I was disappointed also in the tactic because when you're playing a 3-5-2 versus a 4-4-2, and especially you'd want to expect the both wing backs to be playing at 1 versus 1, especially in defensive in terms of Qatar. But what we had seen was that one midfielder was pushing out each time to go to play against Prashado, and that created a gap. And I was a little bit concerned with the fact that Mendes, who I believe had a fantastic game, every single time he went down and created a back 3. But still, Moyes was still going to Caicedo. I think Qatar should have pressed a little bit more. In the second half, they tried to do that, but it was too late.
How do they bounce back from this now?
How do they bounce back? It's difficult. It is very, very difficult. This was a game that could have set the platform for them to be a little bit more relaxed. The coach said the team had too much responsibility. I mean, Qatar coming into the World Cup 52 in ranking, they have nothing to lose. I believe that they should have been relaxed, enjoy, and play. But tactically, I think the Qatar team, and I keep on saying because I'm so close to the team, should have done better. And there were moments in the game that you said probably Buddha, the number 12, who doesn't play too well off the hips. Maybe he drop and form a back foot, so you could get maybe Kareem or going a little bit with a 4-4-2, attack with a 4-4-2. So you could have some superiority because what Ecuador basically did was have the 2 wide midfielders, Ibarra and Plata, playing in about a 35 meters apart. So they were just blocking the channel. And the offering from the Qatar was, they're coming back, losing the mark off the ball and not, going in the space. Because in this football, you watch as the game go by, a lot of teams will be breaking the defensive line. And Qatar did not do that, except one moment when the number 9 came on the football field. And that's what they needed to do for a longer period in the game.
Yeah, elaborate a little more for me, Miguel, your thoughts on how the Ecuadorians played, because I thought they acquitted themselves very, very well. I liked how they moved the ball around the park and put sprung passes together. Technically, they looked very, very good to me.
No, they're a good team, but the result was not matter of that they were exceptional. I think they played, they did the basics well, in which they had they broke a lot of units. So you'll find that from midfield, they would want to play the striker. You see the goal, one pass to number 11. Estrada playing to Valencia very quickly to the striker and also going wide and putting the cross. So they basically attack with a 3-5-2 with the 2 with Ibarra and Plata coming inside. Yes. The number 17 and number 7 going up a little bit higher and controlling in the middle pitch, regardless of the fact that on paper Qatar would have had more player inside of the midfield, but in terms of how they move and rotate, it was very, very good, but I won't say they were exceptional.
All right, let's check back with Liam to see if Liam is there now. Liam?
Yeah, I'm here. My camera's on my end. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing me.
No, we're not seeing you. We are seeing Liam, yes. Give me your thoughts on the game, Liam, how you thought both teams fared out, starting with Ecuador.
I'll start with Ecuador. I agree with Miguel on the fact that Ecuador, I do not think were anything that special. What they mainly did well was getting the ball to the strikers Estrada and Valencia. We saw that in the 2 goals. But just the Qatar, I just thought they were pretty terrible, to be honest with you. Just the basic things like the passing, the first touch was just not there. Decision making, lots of times you see them, they had loads of space, but they just, rushed the cross or rushed the shot. And have a lot to work on. They're working on this program for 12 years, but it never really looked like they have been, and there was not much chemistry there. Ecuador, credit to them, but I still think I'm going to stick with my prediction of Senegal and Netherlands getting out of this group.
Contrasting result here for the two teams, Andrew. One team is sitting pretty. You've gotten 3 points from your first game. The other team is under serious pressure. You're the host nation, and based on what you said affected you in this game, looks like they have a bit of a hump to get over now for their second match.
It's going to be very difficult, but you have to put the game behind you. And as most coaches would tell their players, what's done is done. We have to prepare for the next game. And they must be thinking about the next opportunity that they have to go out there to play, get things right. They'll be able to look at some film, look at where they made the mistakes. I think one of the errors that I think they made is that despite having 5 people in midfield, they didn't clog the flanks. And they allowed the fullbacks in Estupe and Precado to actually go down the flanks and make a lot of telling squares into the box. And once you give players of that quality, that type of room, they're going to get that ball over. And as you know, Valencia, magnificent header to score that second goal. It just shows the type of quality he has. This man has now 5 goals in all World Cup games that he has played.
Yeah, outstanding player there, the captain, 33 years old. The Qataris will take on Wales next Friday. They have a few days to try and turn this around, but it's not going to get any easier. Certainly not.
It's going to be a difficult game. And, Wales would have had a game going into the game against Qatar. And I'm sure that they'll be coming to try and get out of the group. So they are behind the 8 ball, but they have to be positive, go into the game, believing that they can get something out of the game. It's 3 games in the group, so you have to at least get a win. So I think they should be aiming for a win in the next game. It's going to be difficult, but you have to stay positive.
Yeah, and it really comes down to what's happening on the park, Sharona, because you're the host nation. The home fans can drive you so far and no further. You've got to go out there and do your job in that 90 minutes when you get out there.
And it's interesting what they said. They were playing a 4-4-2, and they played simply.
Yeah.
So even though it wasn't anything exceptional, it was enough. And that's what football is about. You get it, you control, you make good decisions every time, as much as possible. And if they can't get that together, no matter how many years you are preparing, the fans are going to be disappointed because they're expecting a quarterfinals. That's what they're expecting.
Alrighty, in the 3rd minute of the match, as we said, there was controversy. The goal was disallowed by Ener Valencia and ruled to be based on VAR, an offside call. The offside rule states that if the goalkeeper is a second to last opponent and you are behind him, you will be deemed to be in an offside position. However, if there are 2 players behind the goalkeeper, as seen in the pic we're going to be showing you shortly, you will be offside if you are ahead of the second to last opponent. And in Ecuador's case, Estrada was seen ahead of the line of the goalkeeper, Al-Shib, and the next Qatari player, Fadlala. We have with us now the JFF's manager for referees, Victor Stewart. And he's going to help us to talk around this as to what exactly happened in the 3rd minute of play. Victor, good afternoon to you and welcome to Final Whistle here on TVJ.
Hi, good afternoon, Spencer.
All right, thanks for joining us, Victor. First of all, the decision that was taken, was it the correct decision? And if so, explain to us.
Yes, as per the VAR protocol, it would have been the correct decision. Because to the onlooker, you're not going to see that in normal play. But VAR do at the moment have the benefit of replay. And what has happened, if you notice during the game, there were many offside decisions that were delayed because that is the advice to the assistant referees. When you have a close offside decision, keep the flag down. Then you go to VAR and VAR will give the information as to whether it was legal or illegal.
Yes, so a lot of persons may be wondering, Victor, at what point was the critical moment? Was it the point where before the ball was played or that the player was interfering with play, the player Estrada, who was deemed to be in an offside position?
Taking on the because what most people would have seen was that ball going into the goal area.
Right.
There was a challenge by an Ecuadorian player who was at that moment marginally in an offside position.
And as you speak, Victor, we're looking at a still pick of what happened. Continue.
Yeah, that was a critical point. So when that ball came over, even before the bicycle kick and the subsequent header by Valencia, the offense would have been committed before.
By Estrada?
Yes.
All right. I know a couple of our officials went to VAR training, when was it? Earlier this year, Victor. Looking at this scenario, what's the word to our officials going forward, or what do you think they would have taken from this? And how do you expect the VAR system to hold up throughout this tournament? Because it has created a fair amount of controversy in leagues around the globe and elsewhere.
Yeah. The FIFA and VAR is the way forward now. It's going to take some time before we actually have this technology for our benefit locally. But those referees who are exposed to VAR, they have a different mindset when it comes to offside. The assistant referee, that is. Any close offside decision, they are going to keep the flag down to ensure that the correct decision is taken in the end. And this is the advice given to the assistant referee.
Yeah.
If you're in the keep it down. Let's go to VAR and they will make the final decision.
I noticed you said just now, Victor, it will take some time for the technology to get here. What sort of time frame are you looking at? And what are the mitigating factors why it's not here as yet?
Okay, I can't give you a time frame, but the mitigating factors is that your stadium that you're playing in must be VAR friendly. VAR friendly meaning you have all the technology present. You need a video operation room, and you need an on-field area, review area for the referee, as you would have observed in games. Because that information from the video operation room must come to the on-field referee for him to review. I am not sure that we have all the technology in place for that system. And if we do, it may be in the national stadium at best.
So just one final quick thing, Victor. It's the JFF that will have to get that in place, huh?
Not the JFF per se, the league organizer.
Okay. All right, Victor.
The league itself is responsible.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Victor, and giving us that explanation as to what transpired earlier.
Okay. Thank you.
Alrighty.
You're welcome.
We take a break with a trivia question of the day. The question says, which nation has won the most World Cups? Which nation has won the most World Cup titles? Of course, you can call 733-246-126. That's 733-2461-6 for a chance to win a 40-inch smart television set, courtesy of Television Jamaica. Let's go to a break, and we'll come back.
Final Whistle brought to you by Digicel, Grace, Pepsi, and Burger King.
When you don't have data on the go this Christmas, it can feel like you're missing all the fun. Digicel Prime Broader bundles give you more data. Share memories. And because it's the season of giving, enjoy enough pickings this Christmas. With a chance to pick and win your share of over 16 million in cash and prizes. Plus, get 25% off a 7 or 28-day Prime Broader bundle in the My Digicel app today. Enter to pick and win with Digicel this Christmas.
It's the taste like the beat of a drum that makes you move. From the Caribbean to the world, wrapped in the food. The taste that moves you. Sharing the moment, share it with everyone. The taste that moves you. Come make we share the joy and share the love. When the food sweet, dance. When the vibe nice, love. The taste that moves you.
Nothing moves your vibe, your mood, or your appetite like the taste of grace.
Our children are the rock on which our future will be built, our greatest asset as a nation. They will be the leaders of our country, the creators of national wealth who care for and protect our people. In celebration of Jamaica's 60th year of independence, the Gleaner presents to you a Jubilee salute to our nation's children with 60 great essays by our top students in the best-in-class book, available for purchase at the Gleaner Library, 7 North Street, Kingston. RJR Gleaners Gift Shop, 32 Lyndhurst Road, and the Gleaners Western Bureau Office at 23 Orange Street, Montego Bay.
Final Whistle brought to you by Digicel, Grace, Pepsi, and Burger King.
Welcome back to Final Whistle. Let's say congratulations to Pamela McFarlane. She has just won a 40-inch smart TV, courtesy of Television Jamaica. Of course, we asked which country has won the most World Cup titles, and it's Brazil with 5. They're going for number 6 now. The opening game on the tournament, Qatar went down 2-0 to Ecuador. Ecuador have now gone 7 games without conceding. In 2006, they got to the last 16 of the World Cup. That's their best placing ever. And they're coming back after an 8-year absence from the big stage. They're hoping to better their previous best placing. Joining us now from Arnett Gardens is the Maverick himself, Oral Tracy. Oral, what have you got for us from Arnett?
Yeah. All right, the Maverick is on the go, and in the streets and in the stands right here at the Tony Spalding Sports Complex. Jamaica Premier League action, I think, is Mullines play very united out there, but the Maverick more interested in the people in the stands and for talk about the World Cup. You know, it's the first day of the World Cup. 1 match down, 63 to go. Ecuador the first winners, of course, Qatar the first losers. But here are the Mavericks now. The Maverick out here and out and about and want to get the reaction of some of the World Cup fans from right here, so in Jamaica. Right here, so in the stands. Yeah, we're in the stands at Arnett Gardens, and we have a lady here that this happened to be her birthday. And she said, me ask her, which team in the World Cup? Which team in the World Cup is your team? Let me just ask you that.
Brazil.
Yeah, and, all right, you have to prove that, you know, just I say Brazil because you see the color of my shirt, you know. Name me one player who play for Brazil.
David.
Eh?
David.
Eh? Who you say?
Mama Mash.
Go again.
Neymar.
Neymar?
Yes.
What you can't tell me about Neymar?
I don't really know about Neymar, but Ronaldinho make me carry Brazil.
Oh, all right. So Brazil, let's say your team. All right, you pick a good team. You have a team in the World Cup. All right. We have another lady up here, so we support your rival team. She support Argentina. See her, yeah? Show them why you support Argentina. Show them it. See that? She has shown me that all day. Yeah? Argentina, your team. Yeah? Messi, you play Argentina, your team. Which one?
Argentina.
Eh?
Argentina.
All right. Hold on. Before we have a strange. We have a strange one also, because most people say Argentina, most people say Brazil. We have a man over there, so we say Cameroon, but we soon get to him. Brethren, which team? Welcome to Final Whistle. You're live on TVJ, you know. You watch the World Cup so far. 1 game gone so far. Which team are your team in the World Cup?
Portugal.
Portugal?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah, man, straight.
You think Portugal have a good chance of winning?
Yeah, because right now we have a better forward line, better midfield line, even defending line. Right now.
Who do you think are your main threat to the title?
Well, would that be Spain?
Yeah?
Yeah.
To the title, I say, you know?
The title, yeah.
So want to Argentina, Brazil and all them people?
Yeah. Semi-final, them are go, man. Or even quarter-final.
No, sir. No, man, I punch hard people. The Maverick on the go, in the streets and in the stands right here at the Tony Spalding Sports Complex. We have hold on, me tell you, say most people are saying, you hear Portugal, you hear Argentina, you hear Brazil. Listen to this bridge now. Listen to him, quick and fast. All right. So, World Cup, you know, Qatar, you know. Yeah. Which team are your team?
Big team, Cameroon. African team can't lose World Cup.
Yeah.
Can't lose World Cup.
African team never win World Cup yet, you know, Joe.
Them going to win it now. Because Cameroon going to win it now. And Cameroon is a big side, you know. Cameroon going to lick all the big team them.
Cameroon play against Jamaica already and couldn't beat Jamaica, you know.
No, them just get in the mood, you know. I feel them play, you know. So, them gonna murder them, man.
Senegal no bigger team for Cameroon, my boss. Senegal are the African champion, you know. You just a Raja Miller thing, you know.
You know that, a big team. Raja Miller, big man, but Cameroon game.
You see, a Raja Miller thing, Joe Depan. Anyway, people, I get the impression, you see, that most of these people that I have interacted with here, right? Them just interact with it. Them follow the team them because of the star them. Joe follow Cameroon from about 30 years ago because of Roger Miller. That lady around there, so she said Neymar, our baller. I'll do him like lay down. And the one over there so say, Messi. Oh, she said Ronaldinho is our baller. Anyway, we're going to throw you back to the studio. It's the Maverick on the go and in the streets, interacting with the fans about World Cup 2022, Qatar 2022. On the go, the Maverick on the go, you can never know.
Thank you very much, Maverick, coming from Arnett Gardens, and we heard from some of the fans. What would final whistle be if we did not hear from present and former players? Now, we found quite a few former national players, former reggae boys, and we're going to hear from them throughout the coverage, throughout final whistle. One of them is Paul T-Gut Davis.
Oh, 1990 was a special year for Jamaica. You know, first time an English-speaking Caribbean team went to the World Cup. You know, the journey was nice. You know, we started a bit rocky, but going on, you know, it was nice. You know, it was nice, and you know, you saw we went to the World Cup, and I think we did well as a country, and you know, we brought Jamaica together as a people. Maybe sentiment, you know, because we're growing up, you know, with Brazil, most Jamaica. Maybe a lot of people switch now because you have a choice now. But then it was Brazil because maybe of Pele. You know, everybody say Brazil, and then the color again is the green, yellow, and you know, and black. So it's favorable for us to cheer for Brazil. So I'm a still Brazil fan. They have a pretty good team. I think on any given day right now, yeah, there'll be any team to win the World Cup. Every year Brazil bring a new star. So this year, if you see Neymar, don't think you're gonna see him another year. You're gonna see a Bebito or a Ronaldo or somebody that's Brazil. They introduce young players. They believe in, and that's what Rene brought to Jamaica too. You know, the youthfulness when he bring in the BB and those guys into the national team, young, energetic. It's gonna be a tricky World Cup this season. I tell you, because so many great players, so many players performing now at high level. We're going to miss some of the great players again who injured that they can't make the World Cup, but don't write no team out. It's going to be a special World Cup.
Alrighty, that was Paul T-Gut Davis, and just Wednesday of this past week, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of the Reggae Boys' historic qualification for the World Cup finals. Oh, how we would love to get back on the big stage. But 25 years, Andrew, and we're still waiting. This is a drought indeed.
Patience.
And as Paul T-Gut Davis said, the support in Jamaica for Brazil, Sharona. You go around now and you see quite a few more persons supporting Argentina, probably Portugal, Spain, but Brazil, the bulk of the support locally is still with Brazil.
Yes, we have a special relationship. Rene Simoes. When you look at our history and how it's closer to home, you know, Brazil, and a lot of people, your parents, supported them. You grew up seeing a Brazil flag in your home, so it's just natural. But as he rightly said, people are now celebrating stars as opposed to a nation. So wherever you're baller there, that's the team people are tending now to support.
Quite so. Let me get back to Miguel in Qatar. And Miguel, as I said, these two teams today getting contrasting results. Ecuador, they have started on the front foot. They will take on the United States in their next game come Friday. How do you think they will approach that?
United States or
Ecuador. How Ecuador? Or both teams will approach that. Start with Ecuador.
No, well, Ecuador would have gotten a lot of confidence going to the next game. I think they did pretty well. The way they move the ball, they know they have a very good game model, especially knowing the fact that their target man, to play to their target man. So they want to get the ball quickly to their target man. So they have a very good plan in terms of closing the middle defensively. In today's game, you notice they deny, they dictate, and also they delayed Qatar when they were defending. So that is very, very good. Their transition is also good. So I'm looking for them to continue to do very well against the next opponent. I think is Netherlands. I think they will play in the next match, not United States. So I'm expecting them to not. I don't think they will win the game, but they will continue to play and enjoy the tournament because they have 3 points. Maybe the second game will be a game they want to draw, but for them to go out there and enjoy the game as much as possible.
Yeah, and sometimes you get the first game jitters out of the way based on what the Qatari coach said after the game today. He has Wales coming up next. Do you think they will have the next few days to rejig, reset the offensive thrust and tweak whatever they need to?
They do. They will check the matrices and see things that they didn't do in the game, and it's pretty obvious. Will he change the formation? Maybe not. In terms of how they play within the formation, maybe he will change that. They need a win, so I believe they will be much more aggressive. They'll be looking at winning the first ball and the second ball, which they didn't do in this game, and they'll be looking at breaking the defensive line much more. In terms of if there were doubts about his fitness coming in the game, I would want to see him getting much more the ball between the lines, especially between the midfield and the defensive line, and from there, he can be much dangerous. But today you saw him coming down in the defensive line, getting the ball because he wasn't getting a touch of it. But I believe they will adjust. I'm still confident that they can go out of the zone. It will be much more difficult, but they have a great opportunity in the next match to get 3 points or to get a draw.
Yeah, Liam, as I said, the Ecuadorians have gone 7 games now without conceding, and a lot of teams like to focus on certain statistics. How important do you think this will be to their morale going forward? Oh, we have lost Liam. We're going to be taking some calls as well, and I gave you the numbers earlier. We have Liam again. So, Liam, welcome back. I was saying the Ecuadorians have gone 7 games in a row without conceding. How important do you think this piece of stats will be to their overall planning going forward?
No, yeah, I think it's huge, and especially hold an opening game to hold a host nation to a clean sheet is huge. Like giving a huge boost of confidence. Especially they were really fantastic in attack today, getting the ball to the strikers. So now overall they're really gonna have a boost of confidence. They had a great attacker off the bench in Sarmiento, the Brighton winger, coming off, a lot of energy from him, and yeah, they were rock solid defensively. And and had a good attack as well. So I think they play Netherlands next. I think gonna be a tough game. I don't think they'll come out victorious, but I think they definitely have a lot to be proud of, and big confidence booster going into the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, the hallmark of a good team or any good team, Liam, is how you recover from setbacks. And the Qataris 2-0 loss in this opening game. How do you think they will fare out or will get ready? Can they get ready in time for their next assignment?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said earlier, they've been working on this program for 12 years now, and it's a quick turnaround to the next round of games. So I'm not sure. They've been a Senegal side without a Mane, but a Senegal side with some, big stars in it, and they're really mainly struggling. They struggle all around to us. And they're playing against a Senegal defense with likes of Koulibaly, Diallo, and Mendy, and still a great attack as well. So I mean, I don't know. I think they just maybe it was first game jitters. I'm not sure. I think I agree with Miguel. They have the capability to surprise. So maybe they'll turn things around, and who knows how good game against Senegal.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to be taking a break, but before we take the break, I told you earlier we'll be opening up the phone lines when we come back. So the number is to call 733-246-126. That's 2461 through to 6. So come back with us and we'll open up the phone lines to get your take on the World Cup, what's happening so far, who do you think will win, etc. after the break.
Final Whistle brought to you by Digicel, Grace, Pepsi, and Burger King.
Join the rhythm, enjoy the flavor, the taste that you savor. Share with your friend and your neighbor. We're made in Jamaica. Join the rhythm, enjoy the flavor, the taste that you savor. Share with your friend and your neighbor. We're made in Jamaica.
Grace Tropical Rhythms. Join the rhythm.
Black Friday Frenzy at the following participating stores island-wide: Mayfair Cosmetics, MAC, ER Hardware, Fontana Pharmacy, Royal Jewelers, Child's Play, Fashion Express, The Trends, Beauty Queen, Golden Eagle, Wolf Creek, Allure Intimate, Baby Bob Kids, Cash Whiz, MFP Pharmacy, LED Lighting Specialist. Black Friday Frenzy is presented by the Archer Gleaner Communications Group in partnership with Multilink.
We're in the Atlantic hurricane season. Here is a safety tip for readiness for hazards and emergency situation. Make a family emergency plan and ensure that the members of your household are aware of it. Before an emergency situation, sit together and decide where to go and what to do. Keep a copy of this plan in a safe place.
The Gleaner Premium will excite your digital media experience, satisfy your appetite for exclusive stories and special access to editors' fora, videos, podcasts, and much more. To subscribe, go to jamaica-gleaner.com/premium and select the e-Gleaner or website option. Welcome to your new digital experience, the Gleaner Premium.
Prices start as low as US $2.99. Sign up today and keep up with the Gleaners A-Team.
Final Whistle brought to you by Digicel, Grace, Pepsi, and Burger King.
Welcome back to Final Whistle. I gave you the wrong fixtures earlier. These two teams that played today will play again on Friday, but it's Wales who will oppose Iran and Qatar will face Senegal. I told you some of the fans, many of the home fans, left before the game ended today. Andrew, if you're a coach and you're playing at home and you saw something like that, what effect would that have on you? What would that be saying to you? It's your first game of this mega tournament.
I mean, when you look at the facial expressions of Sanchez throughout the entire game, you know, he looked like a man depressed. You know, he couldn't figure out what was happening. He couldn't understand why his team was playing the way it's played. And now he has to go into the psychology of getting his players up for the next game. All is not lost. You can get out of the group with even 4 points. So what's important is to try to get the players focused and get them to believe that the next game is the most important game of the entire World Cup and try and get those 3 points. But all is not lost. Yes, you lost your first game, but there's still 6 points out there that can be gotten. So what you have to do is get them focused, get them sharp, and get them ready to play again.
Yeah, and when you lose your first game, Sharona, there's pretty much no margin for error after that. So the Qataris from here onwards will have to put their best foot forward.
Exactly. And sometimes they say when you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So the coach will be hoping that when we put you out there, you'll now deliver what he knows that they can do. Because I always say, it's not about losing or winning, it's about putting your best foot forward.
Miguel, the home support, how, in terms of their realistic expectations, and what you would have been hearing over there, how far is it to think the Qataris expect their team to reach to advance in this tournament?
They expect the team to reach the round of 16. For majority of the person I've been speaking with, they expect the team to reach the round of 16. Going beyond that, it's probably the punching over their head. But they expect being in the top 16 team. As Mr. Price said, it's not all done, you know, for them. It's not gloom and doom for them. they have a very important game against Senegal. And based on how the group was set up for them to play against Ecuador, then Senegal, and then the so-called big team in the zone, it was for them to win this game or get a draw and get that momentum going forward. But 4 points, they would want to be looking at now to get them to the round of 16.
Yeah, tell us a little about the standard of football over there, Miguel. The overall, the organizational structure, the overall aspect of it, what's happening at the club level and so on.
It's very professional, highly professional. We have very good players from all over the world. In our system, we can get 5 professional players. So, and you notice James was here, Xavi played here. A lot of big names, Etu, Raul, a lot of big name players play with it in the league. And they have been able to come here and also develop the young players within Qatar. However, most of the best players, they played basically in 2 clubs, in Al Sadd and in Duhail. And, sometimes it's good that, like you look at Italy, in Spain, you had Barcelona and Real Madrid, but they have a lot of good players, local players. Here, it can be a disadvantage because those players don't get a chance to play against, teams of the same caliber as them often enough. And, this can be something that they will have to look at in the future, maybe spreading the players, the better players in different clubs, so it can be much, much more competitive. But over the years, you'll have a Duhail, Al Sadd winning the league, and then, are being first and second, and, Al Ryan in the good times and Garafa, but all the other teams will fight for maybe the 5th spot. So,
yes. You spoke about players like James Rodriguez coming there in recent times, Miguel. Have you, for example, tried to open any doors, for Jamaican players to try and get some contracts there in due course?
I have. In 2020, I think Lowe was supposed to be here to go in Mark here, but the coach moved and then that deal fell through. But I have been recommending players over the past couple of years that I've been here. But sometimes it's very difficult because here they look at statistics. What have you done? Is not a league that will give a lot of young players a chance. They have done that with Dalla from Porto, but not many times. You have players like with the age and the structure that plays in the MLS. Like you have a Rooney who goes to the MLS after he's finished playing. You have Xavi who comes here after finishing at Barcelona, something like that. But let's see what's happening for the future. I still, try to open doors for Jamaicans. And, Burke is one player I really like. I think he will do very well here. And, over time, I've always been recommending him to the coaches here and also to my team.
Alrighty, so we'll see what shall happen there. We're opening up the phone lines now, and we've got Winston from St. Mary joining us. Winston, good afternoon and welcome to Final Whistle.
All right, Spence, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. What about you?
Good evening. Good guest, Angela, and plus young lady.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yes. Your thoughts on the World Cup, how things are going, your expectations, which team you expect to win and why? Tell us, Winston.
Brazil, I want Brazil to win, because Brazil is a favorite team.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brazil. But so why the game that I'm showing on TVJ?
Why the World Cup is not here?
Why the game is not showing on TVJ?
Television Jamaica, as I understand it, as I know, don't have the rights for the World Cup, Winston. Sporting properties now, it's not like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. You've got to get the rights. It's a bidding process, and this one we don't have. But we are doing what we are doing otherwise, huh?
I want Brazil
giving you a quality program like Final Whistle. And let me tell you, Winston, there live commentary on all matches on Hits 92 FM,
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes,
I know.
Yes.
Yes, I know. But I want Brazil to win.
Yes, indeed.
I bring in Brazil to win.
All right, Winston. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yes, I wish them all, wish them all the best and plus.
Alrighty. 733-246-126, the numbers to call to join us. Of course, there will be some more matches tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have, let me tell you here what we're looking at for tomorrow. We have some very, very interesting matches. 3 matches will be on tomorrow. England will be up against Iran. That's the first game on the day at 8 in the morning, Jamaica time. And then at 11 o'clock, Senegal will take on the Netherlands. And then at 2 p.m., the United States up against Wales. There is your schedule. So England, Iran, that's Group B at 8 in the morning. Senegal, Netherlands, 11 o'clock, that's Group A. And also in Group B, the United States up against Wales at 2 p.m. Again, loads of anticipation surrounding all the matches. But in terms of these games tomorrow, Liam, Miguel, Sharon and Andrew, England, they hold a lot of attention based on what they would have done at the last Euro. And persons are saying, are they over the hump now where they can get to a final? They got to the Euro final, but they choked. Can they take it a step further here?
Well, they're one of the teams that are seeded to do well. But, in a lot of tournaments, England is always flattered to deceive. They play well into the round. They go very deep. And when, the last hump to get into the finals or to actually win the tournament, they are unable to do it. So they are hoping that this class of players will be able to do it. I think they have a good, balanced team. Players that a lot of Jamaicans would have seen on a weekly basis and are interested in. But they have to definitely come and be consistent and be prudent on the pitch and get the job done. And England hasn't done it in a long time, since 1966.
Indeed. We have Nesta Grant from Kingston on the line now. Nesta, good afternoon and welcome to Final Whistle. Nesta?
Hello?
We are hearing you loud and clear. Good afternoon and welcome. Go ahead. What point you want to make about the World Cup?
My side is Netherlands. No.
Netherlands.
Yeah, and East Central upon the phone.
In terms of how they have played in recent times, how exactly are you expecting them to perform? They have a veteran coach, Louis van Gaal. He'll be quitting at the end of this World Cup. He'll be handing over the reins. How do you expect them to perform throughout this tournament?
Well, so far, I expect them to give me a good level of performance, like years coming by. Even from the 98 when I started to watch them,
yes.
And I chose that side at 98 when you used to have Dennis Bergkamp, Overmars, Van Damme, and Jaap Stamp, Seedorf, Davids. Those guys used to play back then.
Yes, Edgar Davids, the pit bull.
Yeah, with Seedorf. And then on the other side, said we,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, with the Stamp, turn up in Amigo, And
solid.
Yeah. Those two forward, Overmars and Bergkamp, they carry me straight to Arsenal.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What about the present crop? Who are the ones you're expecting to lead their charge now?
Well, so far, I haven't been back then, but I just know that that's my side. Anywhere to go, that's where I go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
But hopefully, forget a good show for them tomorrow, man.
Yes. Let's wait and see then. They play
Yes,
Senegal
please.
starting 11 o'clock Jamaica time. Nesta, thanks so much for calling.
Essential, man.
All right. England, Iran, as I said, Sharona, Senegal, Netherlands, United States, Wales. First game on the day, England, Iran. The English, they have had a problem scoring goals in recent times in the Nations League. It even got demoted. I think it's a worrying factor for Coach Gareth Southgate. And there are talks that he could quit after the World Cup, especially if they don't perform up to expectations.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one tomorrow with all 3 games, nail-biting. I think England is going to come up with something big. Iran is going to be tough. They have a lot of players playing in Europe, so they understand that style of football, so they know how to counter it. So it should be quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping for England to get the edge, though.
Okay, we shall see what we shall see. We have Sean Grant from Kingston joining us now. Sean, good afternoon and welcome to Final Whistle.
Good afternoon, and my side is France from Zidane days.
You have a number of injuries, though, Sean. No Paul Pogba, no Kante, no Benzema. What are you expecting them to do in the absence of those star-studded players?
No Benzema, no Giroud,
Giroud is there, but the Benzema is injured and out. That news came out yesterday. You didn't hear that?
No, I never heard that.
Oh, you must be on a different planet, Sean.
I never heard
But you had
that.
heard earlier that there's no Pogba and Kante, huh?
Yeah, man, me saw that lately when I get up.
Yes.
But we're going to do good, man. We're going to bring through. Just like it, when we did play against Austria in our first match, we did jam, a lot of people have said, wow, France look shaky. But
Australia.
Yeah.
You play them on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. Thanks so much for joining us, man. All the best to you and France.
Yeah, man.
All righty. 733-246126. Miguel, we're looking at tomorrow's schedule. England, Iran, Senegal, Netherlands, United States, Wales. Let's start with England up against Iran for you.
Well, first of all, this group reminds me of the 2010 where you had England, Slovenia, Algeria, and USA. England struggled in that zone. Algeria won against them. Iran is similar to Algeria. The USA did very well. They won the group. However, I don't believe it will be the same this time around in this group. England has the firepower. They have not been firing, but when you have quality players and you have an occasion like the World Cup, these players will come to the fore. Iran is a very, very tough team. They will make it very difficult. As I say, Carlos Queiroz is a coach. You have been with Manchester United for many years with Alex Ferguson. He understands the system. He knows Gareth Southgate very well. He knows that he's under pressure, and he's going to make it very difficult for them on the field. But I think England will come up with the victory.
By what margin? Any margin you want to tell us?
When Iran, maybe 1-0, and maybe from us.
What about the other games, Miguel? Senegal up against the Netherlands. How tricky is that one?
I don't think it's that tricky. Netherlands has a very good team, and they will be playing for the coach. Netherlands team tend to be very, very, very attacking and full of flair over the years. And you will see that. You have to remind. It's very important to know that the badge, they play for the badge every time, and when you notice where the badge is, it's over the heart. They're going to play with all of their heart. They're going to play with a lot of emotion. They will definitely play for the coach. The situation with the coach Van Gaal, based on his illness,
health, yes,
and they love him and they believe in him. He's always done well with the Netherlands team, and I believe it will be difficult, but I know they will win the first game against Senegal.
Mm-hmm. What about United States against Wales?
For me, Wales. A similar team to England. They have a lot of firepower, especially on the wing, the 1 versus 1. So I believe Wales will get the better of the United States.
Yeah, we have Paul from St. Mary's with us now. Paul, good afternoon and welcome to Final Whistle.
Good afternoon, gents.
Go ahead.
And the lady. Good afternoon.
Indeed.
What chances do you guys give Uruguay and Denmark? How far do you think they will make it in the World Cup?
Uruguay and Denmark. Andrew?
I believe both will make it to the round of 16, and possibly Denmark could make it to the quarterfinals. I think Denmark has a very good team, and I believe that they should go very deep in the competition. Uruguay is a normal team that plays well, one of those South American teams that performs very well at the World Cup. They should also get to the round of 16, but I really don't see them passing the round of 16. But I believe that they should have a good first round, and there are two teams that should progress out of their group.
Liam, one of our callers, wants to know how you rate the chances of Uruguay and Denmark at this World Cup.
Yeah, I sort of agree with Andrew. I think Denmark have the potential to go really far. I think I predicted earlier Denmark to top the group and beat France to it. Uruguay, I don't know if there's anything special this year. Suarez, Cavani getting old. I don't really rate Nunes as a Manchester United fan. Araujo's coming back from an injury, so I don't think it's Uruguay's ready to do anything special. But Denmark, after the US performance, can really go far, I think.
Yeah. Paul, you got that? What is your personal take on these two teams? You let me know that now.
I think Denmark, I'm looking at the dark horse, and I think Denmark will make it at least to the semi-final. I'm looking for Denmark.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about Uruguay? How far do you expect them to go?
Just like Andrew said earlier, I think they'll just advance out of the group. But I'm also looking for maybe the quarterfinals.
Okay, you think people like Cavani and Suarez, those legs are too old now?
But they also have a good mixture of young players.
And experience, yes. Paul, thanks a lot for joining us, man.
No problem.
Take good care. 733-246-126. We're looking at tomorrow's game, Sharona. Let me come to you now. England, Iran, Senegal against the Netherlands, and US versus Wales.
Well, I would go with Netherlands for the second game, and for the third game, I can't call that one. I think that one is, I can see why it's at 2 p.m. Everybody is going to be on the edge of their seats. Whoever scores first will probably be the winner for that game.
It's a tricky affair, you're saying, US against Wales.
Yes.
Liam, what do you think?
I'd start off with England and Iran. I said earlier, I think Iran are a team that are slept on and they can definitely, go far. So I'm saying England by a 1-goal margin, 2-1, kind of reminiscent of their game against Tunisia in opening 2018. I don't think England win by a lot very often, and they have trouble scoring goals. So 2-1. Senegal, Netherlands, two very strong defenses. So I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Give out, 1-0 Netherlands. Just edge it. And USA, Wales, I give Sharona, it's a tough game to call, so I'm going to give that a draw and could possibly a very high-scoring, entertaining game to watch.
Yeah, the US have had some injury concerns, Andrew, and form as well. They're blown hot and cold in recent times, and I know that is of some sort of concern to the coach Berhalter.
Yes, and also that it's a young team, and I really don't have the type of expectation that the US supporters have for this team, because it's a team under development, under construction, and I think it's a little bit too early to have them playing the type of football that will carry them deep into the tournament. I think when they host the next World Cup, I think that the team will be ripe and ready at that time in terms of development, and they might find it going very rough in this group.
You think also they would be champing at the bit a little more if some of their top players were having better campaigns with their respective clubs, people like Pulisic, McKennie, a little hot and cold for Juve. Serginho Dest, for example, Barcelona don't want him anymore. He has gone over to AC Milan on loan.
And that's the problem a lot of good players have. If they're not getting a lot of playing time with their clubs, they don't have that edge going into the World Cup. So, they might not be on song as the competition starts. And I think that is what is the worrying factor for the United States at this point.
Yep. Let's take our final call now on the program, Final Whistle. Hello, good afternoon and welcome. This is Wayne.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Wayne, go ahead, from Stony Hill.
Yeah, my finalist is Brazil and Spain.
Brazil and
win
Spain.
2-1.
And Brazil winning 2-1.
Yes, man.
Oh, how have you arrived at that conclusion?
Well, I'm more like what my hope happen. Because me have some Spain brethren there, no? So me and them at it,
So you are saying it's a Spain-Brazil final?
Yes, man.
I have a Brazil-Spain quarter-final win, so we shall see what we shall see.
How about this player from Germany, Thomas Muller, thinking here?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
He's there, yeah?
Yes, he's there.
Wow.
Very experienced
campaigner.
campaigner.
I wonder if he have the farm like in the last World Cup.
Go again?
I wonder if he still have the farm like in the last World Cup.
Or even in previous campaigns. If he reports in good stead, they could be dangerous. He's one of the senior players they're looking to lead their charge for sure.
I remember him from the last World Cup, and he was dangerous then.
Yeah, even though they didn't perform up to expectations, but in previous campaigns, he was absolutely awesome, both at national and club level for Bayern Munich. Thanks a lot, Wayne.
Okay, thanks.
Alrighty. So tomorrow we have, as I said, some very interesting games. England, Iran in Group B at 8 in the morning. Then we move to 11 o'clock, Senegal against the Netherlands. No Sadio Mane for Senegal. And the United States at 2 p.m. up against Wales. That's the schedule there for you on set. Tomorrow we come back with Final Whistle at 4 o'clock. Ensure you join us then. And for live coverage, join Hits 92 FM for live coverage on the matches. On behalf of the entire team, let me thank you so much for joining us once again. I'm Spencer Darlington saying pleasant viewing.
Final Whistle brought to you by Digicel, Grace, Pepsi, and Burger King. Final Whistle is brought to you by...
Get 25% off a 7 or 28-day Prime Router bundle in the My Digicel app today. Enter to